So I'm here with Windows Server 2016. I'm going to set up Active Directory on this Windows Server 2016. I've downloaded this from the Microsoft website. It's an evaluation version. So I'll log into the server now. So when you log into the Windows Server, Server Manager will pop up automatically. I'm just going to show you how to stop that, because some people find it annoying for the Server Manager to pop up as soon as you log in. There's several ways where you can access the Server Manager anyway. So I'm going to go to Manage Server Manager Properties. And I'm going to check this box, do not start Server Manager automatically at logon. And OK. So now Server Manager won't come up automatically when you log into the server. So before I set up Active Directory, I must do a few things. I must set a static IP address on the Windows Server, and I need a DNS server as well to successfully set up Active Directory, and I need to make this server a domain controller as well. So I'm going to go to the command prompt, type CMD command prompt, go ipconfig. And the IP address I have on this server right now is 192.168.1.47, which has been allocated to me dynamically via DHCP. So I'm going to make a static IP address on this server. So I'm going to go into here, right click Open Network and Sharing Center, and change adapter settings. And right click on here, properties, and then go into IPv4 properties, and I'm going to configure a static IP address, 192.168.1. And we'll use .47. We're just going to make it static, so this is the IP address the server uses all the time. It doesn't change, because the IP address can change using DHCP because of the DHCP lease, and the subnet mask was a /27, so we need to change this to 224, and the default gateway so. And press OK, close this, and now we have a static IP address configured. I'm just going to say the same thing as what we had before, and now I'm going to click on Add Roles and Features. You can click on it here, or you can go to Manage and Add Roles and Features. So there's two ways of doing it. So now this is the Add Roles and Features wizard. So right here I'm going to click Next, because you have to verify that the following tasks have been completed. The administrator account has a strong password. Yes, I've set up a strong password. I've set up a static IP address, and I have done a Windows update previously today before recording this, and all the security updates are up to date. So we can click Next, and we're going to go role-based or feature-based installation. So because we're configuring a single server here, we're not doing remote desktop services installation. So we're going to go with role-based or feature-based installation here. Click Next. So service selection, I'm going to click on here. I've had Active Directory installed before on this virtual machine, this Windows Server 2016 virtual machine, and I'm going to click next, and I'm going to click Active Directory Domain Services and add features. I'm also going to click DNS server, because I'm going to make this Windows Server 2016 also a DNS server, because we need a DNS server for Active Directory anyway. Okay, I've set up a static IP address on this server, so I'm going to click next, and I'm just going to set up the normal features: group policy, remote server admin tools, PowerShell, Windows Defender. Click next. As you see here, it says the Active Directory domain service requires a DNS server to be installed on the network. If you do not have a DNS server installed, you will be prompted to install the DNS server role on this machine. Because I don't have a DNS server installed, and this is just a lab, I'm making the Windows Server 2016 the DNS server as well. So I'm just going to click next here, and this is just saying about the DNS, provides a standard method for associating names with numeric internet addresses. So we can click next here, and I'm going to click install here. And this is going to install Active Directory domain service. And I'm just going to pause the video here and fast forward it. Okay, that's finished now. I already had a forest configured, so my forest is mylabdc.local. If you don't have a forest configured, you will need to configure one, so you'll need to configure a new forest. Just going to close that now. As you can see here, the Active Directory domain service and the DNS service are now installed. So these roles have been installed on the server now. And up here you'll see that I need to promote this server to a domain controller. So I'm going to promote the server to a domain controller. And this is where you can add your new forest. So you can add a new forest, or you can add the domain controller to an existing domain, or you can add a new domain to an existing forest. So I'm just going to add a new forest. So I'll show you how to add a new forest. So I'm just going to make this forest mylab.local. Just do that and click next. And the forest function level, Windows Server 2016, domain functional level, Windows Server 2016. Capabilities, I'm going to do DNS server. I'm going to make this server a DNS server, and I'm going to leave the global catalog ticked. And I'm going to put a password in. So this is going to be my password. You can put any password you like. And click next. Now I'm making this server the DNS server, so I don't need to create a DNS delegation. So I'm just going to click next. So this is going to just be what's going to be the name of when you log into Windows Server, it will come up with the NetBIOS domain name / then whatever account you're using, the administrator, for example. So I'm just going to leave this as lab. You can name this whatever you want. This is where like the log files and things are going to go, so I'm going to leave this as the default. That's fine. Next. And this is just the review of the selections I've done. So domain name is going to be mylab.local. That's the name of the new forest, and as you can see, the NetBIOS name of the domain, lab, functional level, forest and domain functional levels, global catalogs on, DNS server, and it's basically just giving a review of all the criteria we've put in the previous steps here. So I'm going to click next, and it's just doing a prerequisite check now to validate that the Active Directory domain services is okay to be installed. And it's passed all the prerequisite checks, so that's good. So now we can click install, and now it will install Active Directory on this Windows Server 2016 virtual machine. I'm just going to pause the video now and fast forward. So as you can see now, the server was successfully configured as a domain controller, and it's prompted me that I'm about to be signed out because the computer now needs to restart to install the Active Directory services and to make the server a domain controller. I'm just using Oracle VirtualBox to run this virtual machine. You can use, if you want, VMware Workstation, that's fine, though the VMware Workstation the free license will only allow you to have one virtual machine at a time. And you could also use Hyper-V, which is Microsoft's Type 1 bare metal hypervisor. If you do have Windows 10 Pro Edition installed on your computer, you can enable Hyper-V and use Hyper-V on your desktop machine, or you can use Oracle VirtualBox, which is, as I said, free and it works well. Unfortunately, VMware is really expensive to purchase subscriptions for. I believe it's yearly subscriptions, so it's more geared towards businesses, not the home user. But the VMware ESXi is, you can get that free, you just need to be able to run it on a server. I would recommend to run it on a server. So if you pick up a server that has the minimum system requirements to run ESXi, you can do that, and you can play around with VMware ESXi, which is VMware's Type 1 bare metal hypervisor, which is apparently really good. This is just applying the computer settings, so I will fast forward this as well because I don't want to waste your time. Okay, now we're back and it's done. So I'm going to go input keyboard, insert, control delete. And remember when I said about the NetBIOS name, I set it to lab. This is what I mean, like this is going to show up here with the / then the username. So I'm going to use the administrator account here. password. So I'm going to verify that the Windows Server 2016 here is in the domain that we set. So I'm going to my PC and right click and go properties. And as you can see, the domain is mylab.local, which is the domain that I set up when I promoted this server to be a domain controller. So if you remember, then when I did that, I put mylab.local. So this is to verify that it has successfully set up correctly. And I've just given 3 GB of RAM to this virtual machine, so I don't recommend to really give it any less than 3 GB because it'll run really slow and sluggish, depending on how much RAM you have installed in your actual computer that you're running the virtual machine on will depend on how much RAM you can allocate to this actual virtual machine. So I'm going to go to the server manager now. So there's multiple ways I could go server manager and click here, or I could click on here and then click on server manager. I will be making some more videos and basically I'll show you how to create accounts in Active Directory. So we'll create organizational units, we'll create groups, users, and I'll show you how to put those users in groups, and then I'll show you how to basically put a workstation, Windows 10 workstation, and make it a part of the Windows Server domain. So then that computer will be part of the domain which we used on this server as mylab.local, which I'll re-verify. Yeah, mylab.local. So I will show you how to join a computer desktop virtual machine, because we're going to use a virtual machine, to this domain, to this server's domain. And then you'll be able to log in through that computer using accounts, user accounts that have been configured on the Active Directory domain service. I hope this was helpful and useful, and I look forward to making more videos doing the things I just said I will do in the next videos. Thank you very much.